Hello, you wonderful friends, and welcome to our next live webinar. This one is Profitable LinkedIn Marketing with your host, Edward Zier, on what day is it? Wednesday, the 8th of February 2017. Absolutely exciting to have you here, and it is a total pleasure working with you wonderful people. Now, tonight, my friends, we're going to be talking about profitable LinkedIn marketing, and I'm absolutely pumped to be here with you to talk about that great topic. Now, interestingly enough, I actually got back probably about half an hour ago, back into the home office, and that was actually taken with me at about 5 p.m. today. That was with my new pal, Laura, and she's an awesome coach, and where we're actually talking about business networking, marketing, and also the power of LinkedIn marketing, and it was a really, really great conversation that we had. So to me, it's quite interesting, actually. I've been actually talking about a lot about LinkedIn today and a lot about business networking. And tonight, we're going to have a great webinar, good half an hour, maybe a few minutes longer, just in case there's questions. And we're going to take things that little bit deeper to talk about how to use LinkedIn for our own business success. Now, as well, just a few quick pointers as well. Feel free to put in any questions. And also, I will warn you, I am at the home office right now, and we do have a newborn 6-week baby. So I do apologize. The awesome baby's crying in the background. I hope it's not too disruptive. But my awesome wife is doing her best to put our beautiful baby Maddie to sleep. So anyway, I hope you don't hear it too loud. If I do, I just apologize in advance. But it's so cute. But she only cries, of course, when I got webinars going, so it's very exciting. So let's get into it, my very awesome friends, and thank you again. Just to let you know, this webinar is being recorded as well, so the recording will be coming out tonight in my blog and tomorrow via email. And of course, if you've got any questions in real time, if you're on the webinar, please just ask. And as well, if you're listening to this recording, if you've got any questions, just send me an email. I'd love to help you there. Okay. We're here to talk about LinkedIn tonight and how to use that as a powerful platform to really work. Now, LinkedIn is the world's leading business-to-business social media platform, and ultimately, what I really like about it is that this is the way there's two ways in which you use LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn to meet people you haven't met before. That's one side of LinkedIn, the way I look at it. The other side of LinkedIn, though, is to really work the connections you have and all the wonderful people you know. And the way I've used LinkedIn very successfully for my own business, and I've had hundreds of people I've worked with over the years, when I've taught LinkedIn marketing to, is I'll give it in a real world sense. I'll explain it from a real world sense. Let's say you go to a business chamber or a great event. You add everyone meet to your LinkedIn community, and your LinkedIn community starts getting bigger and bigger. It works just beautifully. Alternatively, as well, you might be searching for someone in particular. And you can do some really, really good searches to meet people and connect with people you don't know to possibly get a high-level business appointment. A lot of different ways we can all go about it. And I want to talk about a few of these tonight. Now, just a bit of detail for those that don't know me and for those in the recording. My name's Edward Zier. I'm here to help you get more clients, increase your revenue, and help give you more time for what you love to do and your family. Absolutely exciting to be here, and I'm totally pumped with a lot of it. The recording's coming out. If you've got any questions or anything, please just ask me so I can get them through to you. And for those that don't know me, I'm Edward Zier. I'm a marketing mentor and blogger. I've generated over $100 million of revenue for my clients over the years. I've worked with thousands and helped many go from 0 to 6 figures in less than 12 months. I've also got a postgraduate in marketing from Monash University, disciplined ex-military and Fed. And the interesting part I want to make here as well is that I'm forever meeting new people and hitting new events across town. So I'm always in the zone and always learning new stuff every day. If you want to copy these slides or any questions, you can just email me. And also, I've got a lot of materials. Just quick disclaimer as well. This webinar and this recording and this presentation is of general advice only. And I am part of the Australian Marketing Institute. And basically what it does, it holds me to the highest ethical and personal development standards in my industry. This is all general advice and education, so please don't watch it and do something crazy. Feel free to talk to me first just so we can get it right. Now, let's get into the beautiful content, which is why you're listening, why you're here. Now, what we always talk about in marketing is the time and process it takes for someone to become a client. And the way it generally works is that we go from interested, fan, customer to advocate. And if you've heard me go through this before, interested basically means someone knows you and they're sort of interested in your services and what they do. Then over time, they might get to know you. and they become a fan. Now, what a fan is, someone who loves you and, let's say, follows you online or in the real world or whatever, and they haven't actually given you any money yet, but they are actually a fan. Then the next step from that is what we call a customer. That means they actually give you money for services. And then after that, an advocate is a really happy customer that becomes part of your inner sphere and refers you. Now, the reason why I bring LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is another channel for accelerating that process. And as I said before, you might meet someone, like I met a stack of people at British Chamber, at the Australian British Chamber last night. I've added them on LinkedIn. By me connecting to them on LinkedIn, it's going to help work them through this process over time, which is absolutely incredible. Equally as well, I might approach someone for the first time through LinkedIn, and over time, they might actually turn into a customer through this process. So LinkedIn is the great way of getting it all moving. Very, very important. The other strategic consideration I want to make as well is, with LinkedIn especially, make sure you're approaching the right people and you're building relationships with the right people. So if they become clients, which you hope they do, it's a great profitable win-win. They get what you want for incredible value and you get paid well, so everyone is happy. The other point I want to make as well, and I say this all the time, and you guys are smart people and you totally get it, always get your business right before you go marketing. Now, if there's problems with your business, and it happens to everyone, there's problems with your business or there's more work you need to do, it's not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. Get your business right before you go marketing so you have a great customer experience. And the final strategic point I just want to make to help preface all this is you want to be an abundant thinker, glass half full, and you want to be what we say is in the zone. That means you psychologically want to be in the space where you're completely successful and you're ready to go hard and win. And also as well, I want to give a big thanks and shout out to the great company of Microsoft. Microsoft actually just recently acquired LinkedIn. The actual acquisition went through, I understand, late December 2016, like a month or two ago. And it's just incredible. Even when the news came out of Microsoft buying it, that put everything on the thing. So big shout out to the awesome guys at Microsoft. You're doing a great job there, and thank you. Now, LinkedIn, my wonderful friends. LinkedIn is just such an amazing platform. And it actually commenced in December 2002. And over the last decade, it's grown into Earth's #1 professional social media platform. Just been acquired by Microsoft. And the reason why I bring that up is because I'll be straight up with you. LinkedIn, I think for a good 2 years ago, especially before the Microsoft announcement, really dipped in quality. But now it is totally on the mend. Now, to sort of preface this and get into it, I've got just a few stats from Census which will support what we're doing. Now, Census is owned by Telstra. It's like a research marketing company. And this is their stats of Australia from 2016. Almost 70% of Aussie are on social media. Almost half of small and medium businesses are on there, and about almost 80% of large businesses are on there. Now, here's the interesting chart I want to share with you. This is the social networking sites used this year relatively. So again, most people are on Facebook. That tends to get used the most, followed by Instagram. Yeah. But the interesting part is that LinkedIn gets 24% of usage. Now, the bit that I find interesting is that if you compare 24% to 95%, it doesn't sound that big, but remember that people aren't looking at pictures of cats on LinkedIn. They're in complete business mode. So I think when you sort of look at it from this point of view, considering that most people are using Facebook for fun or maybe for light business, the fact that LinkedIn is 24% is incredible when you look at it from a business usage point of view. So it's a great platform, and it's a platform on the move. I want to give a shout out to one of my friends as well. Her name's Gillian Bullock. She's a LinkedIn specialist. I'm using a bit of her information here. Feel free to add her on LinkedIn. Just tell her I sent you. Her name's Gillian Bullock, and she is an absolute wonderful character. She's a LinkedIn ninja down under. Now, interestingly enough, talking Australia, over 90% of the workforce, 90% of the workforce over 25 is on LinkedIn. That is 6 million Aussies. Now, interestingly enough, and there's some research here from LinkedIn, 86% of LinkedIn users will check you out before they close a business deal with you. Now, I believe that actually a lot of people who end up becoming clients will most certainly connect with me on LinkedIn to check me out and see what I'm about. So it is very important because ultimately, especially if whether you're speaking to someone inside or outside of LinkedIn, as you're talking to them, oh yeah, they usually check you out on LinkedIn, and it's very important. So I encourage you to update your profile. I'll be going through a lot of information there, which is very good. Also, by the way, friends, if you're live on the webinar tonight, we've got a great little group tonight. please just send me a message. And of course, if you're listening to the recording, you can email or contact me if you're an awesome client. So here to help. Now, there's heaps of different approaches and ways of using LinkedIn, and I'm pretty much going through what I have done personally and what has worked well for me, and also our many clients. So I didn't just read this out of a book and just tell you to do it. This is what we've proven from real practical experience that we're totally blessed about. Now, my very awesome friends, we have here top LinkedIn marketing methods. I'm going to go through 7 different marketing methods and just talk through from a narrative point of view and a conceptual point of view how they work, and also give you a few examples to help really build that. So let's get into it, shall we? Number 1, and this is the most boring part of setting up your list. Look, this is boring, and I'll just be straight with you, awesome friends. It is boring as heck, but it is very important to get it right, because what you ultimately want is that for LinkedIn, you want your profile to be strong, because at the end of the day, it's your description under your name. So I'll show you a few screenshots in a moment. Under your name, you have your index about what you do, your bio, and then you have information about your previous jobs and your summary and everything. Now, the way it works, wonderful friends, is that people check out your profile before they hire you, okay? It's a first impression, so you want to write it well for several reasons. So if someone A reads it, they're like, wow, this person's really cool, and you present yourself in the right way. Oh, stand by, friends. Got an interesting... can you guys hear me? I just had an audio connection lost signal. Can you guys hear me? Oh, can you guys hear me? Is the sound back online? Hey, everyone. Can you hear me? I got the strange message from Citrix. Hey, friends. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, wonderful friends? I just heard there was some disconnection. That's weird. Oh, hang on. Stand by. Stand by. Got a technical glitch of some form. Oh, hey, friends. That was odd. That has never happened before. According to this, audio is back online. Never, ever had that before. Can you hear me now? Oh, thank God for that. That was strange. I've been doing webinars for... Oh, thank you, Karen, and thank you, Rod. That's strange. I don't know what it was. I don't think it wasn't the internet. It just lost connectivity. Okay, friends, we are back online. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back into it, wonderful friends. And any problems, just let me know. So just to confirm, you can hear me? Just in case. Ah, excellent. All right, let's get back into it. Yeah, weird. Thank you. Love your work. Awesome, friends. Thank you. All right, let's get back into it. So it's very important that we get your profile well and your SEO just right. Now, when it comes to writing your profile, it's important that you write in third person. Now, in case you don't know what third person is, so let's say we've got the awesome Rod Sanchez, who's a top acupuncturist on the line. When Rod writes his profile, he doesn't say, I'm Rod Sanchez, or, I'm a really good acupuncturist. You write in third person so it sounds really good, such as Rod Sanchez is a leading acupuncturist who helps people get healthy naturally. So you want to write about yourself, might sound weird, you want to write about yourself as the object so you sound really, really good. It's very, very important to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a few examples of how to get your LinkedIn profile right and take it from there. Now, first things first, when it comes to your profile, you notice here you've got the name. So this is your profile. So this is on your page. I'm using LinkedIn Premium, which I'll give a bit of commentary on. Have a really good photo. I personally use my wedding pic because it's just something different. I look really cool there. And I lost a lot of weight for my wedding, which is awesome. So you have your name now. Interesting, you'll notice under my name there, you have as what's called the index text or the bio text. It's very important that you get this right because this is how people find you. And this is how the search of it totally works. Now, what's interesting about all this, and this is a big salient point I want to make, my wonderful friends, is that you want to use different terms that are keyword rich in case people search for you and so you appear on Google. And you'll notice that I've got marketing mentors space, and that slash is called pipe. It's usually the shift key above your enter key on PC. Space blogger, space pipe, space commentator, space Nightly Order of St. John's, space accreditation. Now, the reason why we use that space pipe format is you don't want to use commas. And I'll give you an example. If I just said marketing mentor, comma, space blogger, because I've got mentor and comma together, it can actually throw out the LinkedIn search. I know it sounds a bit silly, but that's just the way it works. So what the convention for doing it really well, and there's different ways you can do it, but this is the way I like to do it. You go, let's say title, space, secondary title, space, what you do, space, accreditation. There's no, look, it's an art. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. But what I do say is you want to take the different terms and split them up in this manner so it really searches. What I personally like to do as well is at the end of it, I like to finish with my actual accreditation, just so it sounds really good. Now, I know this isn't exactly exciting and riveting, but make no mistake, it is so important to get this right and just get it beautiful, because at the end of the day, people are going to be looking at this and deciding whether to talk to you or whether to hire you. So you got to get it right. Now, my LinkedIn profile is never right, but you want to get it good. So you want to get it right. Now, you'll notice that beneath my photo, you'll see the link https://linkedin.com/in Edward Zir. Now, when you create your LinkedIn profile or when you have your LinkedIn profile, usually it's a real messy, long link with numbers and everything. You can customize it. So it's called customizing your LinkedIn URL. Very easy to do. You just Google it. If you get stuck, just ask me. I can point you in the right direction. And that gives it a nice, beautiful, clean link. You'll see a little contact info as well. You want to update it. Now, please put your mobile number on there. Please put your correct email address. Please get it right. I know this is very basic, but even though what I'm saying is very basic, a lot of people actually don't do it very well. So I just want to get that across. Also, as well, it's good to put in your location and what you do. In my case, you have LinkedIn categories. I call myself management consulting. So you want to get this bit right. This, to me, is quite important. Now, the next bit is actually quite important as well. You have your summary. I'm not going to spend too much time on the rest of this. It's pretty straightforward. You have your summary, which is about you as a person. And look, it's with respect to the companies, but it's more you focusing on yourself as a person and what you do. And I'll just read part of mine out. And just, again, my copywriting isn't, the be-all and end-all, but this has worked very well for me. Edward Zir is a marketing mentor, blogger, speaker, and personality that loves business, growth, success, politics, and anything entertaining, or at least the slightly controversial. As a marketing leader, he has generated blah, blah, blah. Now, it's good to put your results and what you do up front, okay? As a marketing leader, has generated over 100 million Australian dollars for his clients since his career started in the late 90s. It's great to point that in so people can look at me and know I'm a complete pro. Another bit is, prior to his life today, Ed was a combat engineer in the Australian Army and was privileged to work in drug enforcement special programs with the Commonwealth government. He's lived many different lives, being at the bottom of society and doing it tough, walking the mean streets, finding out information to protect the public, right through to managing teams of elite professionals and helping thousands build bigger businesses. So you notice that I've covered a lot there to try and get as much information as possible. Edward is a proud Christian, is a Knight in the Order of St. John, which is charity, and is a strong believer in sharing success with the world. To learn more, Google Edward Zir. Again, there's no way of doing it, but I like third person, and I like to keep it as brief as possible. So this bit is quite important. And by the way, you don't have to get it perfect all at once, and mine's certainly not perfect. It takes a lot of tweaking to get it right. Now, I didn't want to go much into it, so I want to sort of more focus on the marketing, not so much the boring copywriting. But as you scroll down through the profile, get your job, your conditions, get recommendations, and everything. It is critical. Now, that's number one. Boring, but critical. Get it right and get it beautiful. Number two, it's important to add everyone you know and build influence. Now, and a lot of people have said this to me over the years, and I'm very quick to correct it. Please don't just think, okay, I'll only add people who will be potential clients. No, add everyone you know. Just add them. And I'll give you an example. I went to British Chamber last night. I met about 13 new people. I've added them all on LinkedIn, except for one who wasn't on LinkedIn. They're an older guy, but you know what I mean. Add everyone, because that helps build your network. It helps people get exposed to your brand, and also you can also browse their connections, which is very important as well. Now, this is a photo. This is the awesome Maggie fan who I'm very lucky to work with on the right of me in this photo that you're seeing uploading now. And the reason why I bring that up is that it's so important to add everyone that you know, because interestingly, one of Maggie's friends actually hired me today, and that's because we're a shared connection. That's how they found me. So the reason why I want to bring that up, my wonderful friends, is that please, and I can't stress this enough, please think network. And what I mean is, don't just think about who you're connected to. Think about the people who are connected to them that can all see you. It's absolutely critical and something that is quite important. Add everyone as you go along. I cannot stress that enough. Now, it's interesting. One of my friends, Nicole Davidson, about 2 weeks ago, she launched her book, and power to her. She did an amazing job. It was a great event. I met about 5 people that night and actually met one of them today for a coffee, who was Laura from the cover page. Add everyone on LinkedIn. Because what happens is, even in a place like Sydney, even though I think the population of Sydney from memory is 4.6 million, the business community is surprisingly small. Like when you start adding people, very rarely do I add someone these days to my LinkedIn that I don't have some kind of shared connection with. And that makes you look good because the more shared connections you have with someone, it's amazing. Now, what LinkedIn does very well is you can see who's viewed your profile, which is incredible. And the bit I love about it as well, you can see who other people's connections are. So if you connect to someone, you can stalk their connections. Whoa, ha, 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 ha. And you can ask for introductions, which is just incredible, which is why I love the platform so much. Number 3 is this: share content and get signups. Now, in all objectivity, Facebook, I think, is better for sharing content. You tend to get more views, but LinkedIn is still pretty good. It's certainly way better than Twitter and Instagram and all those other platforms. It's great to share really good content on LinkedIn. It might be webinar signups. It might be to sell your product. It might just be sending people to your blogs. It might just be sending people to your website just so they can experience your brand and what you're all about. Now, right here is an example of just a share update. So this is just a screenshot I took. You can see one of the articles that I've shared through LinkedIn, just one of my blogs. Blogs go incredibly well through LinkedIn because, again, people are there for professional reasons and they're more likely to read it. Now, interestingly, this blog is not on LinkedIn itself. This blog is located on my website. So if someone clicks it, they'll go through to my website. You can also, this is a great feature, let's say you don't have a blog on your website or it's not your thing for whatever reason, which is a different conversation. You can also blog straight into LinkedIn. And it's called the Pulse platform. So this is an example of a blog I wrote ages ago straight into LinkedIn. I don't really blog much on LinkedIn. I personally blog into my own website and share it through LinkedIn, but you might be one of the people who wants to blog through LinkedIn. All work just beautifully. Okay, so I just want to put it out there as a great option for each of you. This is just an example of what people might see. So, for example, someone might click on a blog from LinkedIn and then they go straight to my website where they're exposed to my brand. So the reason is I want to put it out there is you can share so much LinkedIn so your brand is continually popping up in front of people. And when they go to your website, the idea is they go to some really good quality information that really puts them on the right track. So it works just great. It can also be for webinar signups or whatever the case may be. Now, as you use LinkedIn more, and you have to spend much time on LinkedIn to get a lot out of it. Staying connected is quite simple, and what has a tendency to happen, my wonderful friends, is that as people like you, let's say they're clients or friends or whatever, you might leave them recommendations or they might give you recommendations. Now, interestingly enough, one of my old staff from when I used to manage Rest Point Casinos marketing a long time ago, I was a marketing director there, probably over 10 years ago. I helped her get a job. I went referee for her, and the recruiter that rang me was just fantastic. And we connected and made friends on Facebook, and I left him a great recommendation. He now thinks I'm wonderful. So I've got a new friend in Melbourne who I'm actually going to visit on my trip there in about a month or two. So the reason I want to bring that up, my wonderful friends, is that it's not just taking, it's about giving. So if you want to, let's say you got a friend or a client or a supporter or someone you're using, if you leave a great recommendation, you can build that incredible relationship with them and you can share other people's content. So the point I want to make is it's a two-way platform. And you'll hear this as well a lot in the networking circles, givers gain. Now, the interesting part here, my wonderful friends, is that LinkedIn, to me, is very similar to the real world. There's more commonality. So when I talk, I'm a heavy Facebook guy, and just using Facebook as a contrast. To me, Facebook is quite distant to the real world. You know, on Facebook, you tend to troll a lot more, you do a lot more crazy stuff and have fun. Where to me, LinkedIn, the way people behave on LinkedIn is pretty much how they behave in the real world. It's a lot more consistent that way. And I think LinkedIn is a great way of building authentic relationships online. So again, I met 12, 13 people last night at British Chamber. I'll probably see, let's say, 5 of them again at least. But the ones that I don't, at least we're connected on LinkedIn. They might see my shares. They might see some of my stuff. So there's some way that we can stay connected, which is just incredible. So just want to get that out there. Now, this is one thing that LinkedIn does incredibly well. The recommendation management of LinkedIn is fantastic. There's no way you can tamper with them, so they're authentic. So if someone gives me a recommendation, I cannot do anything to change it. So very authentic, and it's a great way of sourcing testimonials. So you might copy them and put them on your website. Now, the interesting part here is LinkedIn also has this skill endorsements feature. We don't like it, so I think the recommendation functionality on LinkedIn is very good, but people can also recommend you on their skills. That bit of LinkedIn is not a lot of fun, so I think the recommendations is very good. And now, just here when I took the screenshot, I got 41 recommendations. It makes me look wonderful, and something I'm really grateful to have. Now, this is one bit I love about LinkedIn, and I've exposed all these awesome people. Now they're all wonderful. These are the awesome people who have been stalking me on LinkedIn. So you can use LinkedIn to see who is checking you out. Now, I know very closely the awesome James, Susie at the bottom right, and Susan Jones. The other ones I actually don't know that well. And the reason why you do it is it's good to keep an eye on who is checking you out and what that actually means. Now, Susie Nguyen, who's wonderful, we've just sort of started helping each other out, working together. So the fact that she's checking me out on LinkedIn is a very positive sign. And if you do see this recording, Susie, you know you're awesome, and thank you. James is actually an old client from many years ago and a wonderful guy, right? And he's checking me out. So it's really good to know that, actually. It gives you really good intelligence that can work quite well. So let's say hypothetically, you're working on someone as a client, they check you out. That is a great thing, so I can't stress enough. Also, friends, get through your questions. I'm here to help. Oh, sorry, the other thing I just want to mention as well, and I didn't take any screenshots here, so it got a little bit creepy, but you can see who's connected. So I can see who's been checking out my profile. Equally speaking, they can see that you're doing it back to them. The other side of it as well is you can scroll down the bottom of someone's profile and see share connections and share and see their connections. That can be turned off. Hey, we've got an awesome question from Karen Wallace. Great having you on there. This requires a monthly payment, right? That is correct to my understanding. So with LinkedIn Premium, LinkedIn Free, I'm going to sound like a Microsoft consultant here. LinkedIn Free gives you quite a bit of functionality for free. And from memory, I could be wrong on this one, you either don't get to see this anymore or you only see like about 3 people ahead. It has changed recently, so pardon me if I don't know that. I've always been a premium user. Now, a lot of the functionality I'm showing you is on LinkedIn Premium. If you are going to work LinkedIn, I do recommend going to LinkedIn Premium. My understanding is that you've got packages starting at $30 a month because I have changed them a lot from the original ones that I'm still on. So I've been on LinkedIn Premium for about 4 or 5 years. I'm still paying the same amount from 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm still on the LinkedIn package from years ago. It's like $25 a month. I'm sure with inflation, it's probably $30 or $40 a month. But no, you have the LinkedIn Premium Basic. It's like the entry level. It is really good. I highly recommend it because it makes you look, and you'll notice one interesting thing there as well, just supporting your great question. Thank you for that fact, Karen. Notice how you look at this, you see Robin Graves, Damien Kennedy, and James Donkin. See how they've got the little badge next to it, the in. That means they're on LinkedIn Premium. So it gives you a bit of air of credibility. Now, interestingly, going back many years, so it might be 5 years actually, a while ago. When I went to LinkedIn Premium pretty early, and it was actually that little in badge that tipped me over the line because I was working my butt off at the time trying to convince the market I actually knew what I was doing. And to me, having that little in just gives that bit of credibility. So to me, I highly recommend going to LinkedIn Premium. No, I do not wish. I do not get commissions from LinkedIn for that or from Microsoft. I wish I did, but LinkedIn Premium is highly recommended, especially as well for the search functionality, which I'll be going through. You need to have all that there. Number 5, find decision makers. Now, you do really need LinkedIn Premium for this. You can do a very basic hatchet job on free, but LinkedIn Premium definitely does it. Now, the way the advanced search feature works, it's great for finding people by what they do, where they do, and who they do it for. So I've got the awesome Karen Wallace here. Let's say Karen Wallace wants to speak to performance manager, human resource managers, line managers in corporates because Karen Wallace is an awesome executive mentor. You can do great searches. Now, LinkedIn Premium definitely helps, and of course, you can use it without it. Now, this is just a screenshot that I took from LinkedIn Premium. Great platform. And there's a lot of different functionality. You can type in keywords. You can do distance from a postcode. It is in miles being American, but it works great. You got first connections, second connections. Now, the bit that's interesting, you'll see on the right-hand side, in means the premium functionality. You can select groups. Now, the bit I actually quite like, if you look at the bottom right, You got company size. So you can actually go after bigger businesses. So you might search for marketing managers or HR managers from companies of a certain size and a certain industry. It's fantastic. I use this quite a bit. I'm a bit of an advanced people search buff, and it works incredibly well. You can identify people, and you might just ring them up in the real world. You can, let's say, look at who's connected in common and get an introduction, or you might just contact them yourself. Now, I just want to show a few great profiles out there and give you a bit more commentary. This is my awesome friend, Dialee. She's a Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer from Dawn, promoting culturally diverse leadership. As a person who is pro-cultural diversity myself, I've been very lucky to work with her. The reason I want to herald her is she's got a really great profile. It's not perfect, but again, I'm here to talk her up, talk her around. Now, I'll be objective here with the awesome Dolly. Amazing person. Please connect her and say hello. Great photo. Look at the beauty. And she's got a great photo. And see that beautiful bamboo background? Looks fantastic. And she's got all the details in there. The only criticism I'll make is she needs to shorten her link. See how it's got Dialee and then that number? It's good if she customizes her own link. That's it. It's a great profile. And what's interesting is when you go through the rest of her profile, it is just great. She's ex-ABC, an ex-government, amazing person. And she's very active on LinkedIn. Hey, you got a question from Chal. Hello, Chad L. It's great having you here. And I got a bit of humor to go through in a second. Sorry, Chad, can you please ask that question differently? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. If you can just ask differently, that'll be great. I'm not sure what you mean. So thanks, Chad. Chad's just going to come back to the question. Now, what I did was I've just been being my normal trolling self, and I actually took some of these screenshots before the election, which is quite funny. Now, one thing that's interesting, when you do advanced searches, right? So let's say I do an advanced search and I want to speak to someone for whatever reason. Now, I've got Donald Trump Jr., Donald Trump's son here. And what I can actually do is you'll notice that under these options, view recent activity, connect, where it's like I send them a friend request. You shouldn't really send friend requests to people you don't know. Now, you notice it says in there, send Donald in mail. This is powerful, so listen up. What an in-mail is that through LinkedIn Premium, you have, let's say, depending on your package, usually you have at least 10 message stamps a month, which gives you guaranteed delivery. So if I send a message to Donald using in-mail, it's got 7 days to read it. Otherwise, I get the stamp refunded to me. So I get a maximum of 10 stamps a month, which I use. Now, the beauty is that depending on what package you're on, you can do a search for decision makers and send them emails to make new connections and make new friends. It really does work. I tend to use mine up quite a bit, and it works incredibly well. And it is something I highly recommend. So I just want to put it out there as some absolutely great functionality. So heaps of ways you can do it. You can also block them as well. So if you're like, oh, no, not a Trump, you can hit the block key as well if you want. But in all seriousness, it's incredibly powerful. So the way I do it is going back a little bit, is you might use the advanced search functionality, or you might find someone through browsing someone's connections, and then you might, if you know them, you might add a connection, or you might send them an email. Now, just going back a little bit here in this section here. See how it says send message? If I'm connected to someone, you can just message them all the time, so it works just great. Now, here's just an example of a message. Let's say I was going to send Donald Trump, my friend Donald Trump Jr. or Brian or whoever a message. And there's heaps of ways you can do it. Your in-mail messages need to be short. Dear Donald, many thanks in advance for accepting my message. My name is Edward Zier. I'm a marketing mentor and blogger. I help my clients get more clients and I noticed you're in property. I have many property clients and know the space very well. Love to speak more. Thank you, Edward Zier. So I just drafted this as an example. That's it. When you make email contacts with people, keep it so simple and so easy. Don't crap on. Don't do anything like that. And what happens is people, if they're interested, they'll check out your LinkedIn profile. And if your LinkedIn profile stands up, they will talk to you. Now, here's a great example. The wonderful Hillary Clinton. I was just giving an example of the email screen like. So you can, let's say, do a search for Hillary Clinton. I could send her some fan mail here if I wanted to. So the way it works is I got... this is the way the in-mail works. So you've got the subject line, type your message here, and you'll see at the bottom there's your message will use 0 email credits. You have 14 available. And it gives you a few tips on how to do it. So this is actually what the interface looks like. Now, on some people, with some accounts and some packages, it may not cost anything to InMail them, but with a lot of people it does. So InMail is a great functionality of LinkedIn, which I really am behind, a good functionality of LinkedIn Premium. If you choose not to do Premium, that's fine. The other way is you might actually just ring up that person in the real world. So let's say you find someone you want to speak to on LinkedIn. Another way of doing it is just Google their name. You might set it on their website with their mobile number. You just ring them up and just say, hello, my name's Edward and I found you Hillary Clinton on LinkedIn. I'd love to talk to you about great stuff. So there's heaps of different ways of doing it. Now, this isn't so much LinkedIn. This is Selling 101. Introductions work better. So going cold to someone never works as well as an introduction. So what you can do very well on LinkedIn is you can see who the common introductions are. So instead of just going to someone cold, you can ask one of your friends for an intro. So there's heaps of functionalities and way of doing it. I haven't so much gone into it. It's pretty straightforward, but it is there. I want to sort of keep it more strategic here to really help with that. And we're almost coming there. We're almost coming towards the end. Number 6 is first contact and get meetings. Many ways of playing it. You can use a LinkedIn Premium InMail, which Microsoft and LinkedIn will want you to do. Or I just like ringing people in the real world. So I'm the sort of character that goes straight to people and wants to talk to them face to face. So to me, again, introductions are the best. Going in cold is always the hardest and the lowest. I'm not saying, at the end of the day, the way I look at it, let's say there's a really good decision maker and you've got no shared connections. You might just go in cold. There's nothing wrong with doing that because you've got no choice. But if you can go in warm, it greatly increases your odds of getting the meeting. And if you do get the meeting because it's an introduction, your conversion rate likelihood increases. Now, we've got here is Chad's asked a question which I may or may not know how to answer. So let's read it out. Thank you, Chad. LinkedIn allows you to switch to invisible mode where you can browse LinkedIn profiles, but the person who owns a profile cannot see who viewed their profile. In invisible mode, yep, it's okay. So what it is that there is invisible mode where you can cloak yourself, where it's hard. It's not so much invisible, it's more anonymous mode. So let's say I switch to cloaking mode. I can check out someone's profile and they don't know who I am. So Chad's question is, does Premium affect your ability to view connections to the nth degree in invisible mode? Not really. My understanding is LinkedIn Premium doesn't affect invisible mode. Now, I'll tell you my view of anonymous. Don't go anonymous. I go in all guns blazing because if I'm checking someone out, I want them to know I'm checking them out. So I don't know. I don't quite it depends on what you're doing and I suppose how delicate your work is. Let's say you're a lawyer checking someone out for legal reasons. You might cloak. But again, talking marketing, like talking sales and marketing, I don't actually see the reasoning of why you'd cloak yourself and hide your profile. So anyway, that's my take on it. So I hope that helps with that question, Chad, but thank you. By the way, any questions, please get them through. So we're coming to the end of this beautiful webinar. Let's keep going, shall we? Number 7, the final one, which I really like. Assisting sales and presence. Now, I can't stress enough. To me, this is my favorite way of using LinkedIn. And this works just great. This is where I've made most of my money out of LinkedIn. I meet someone at a networking event. I add them. That's it. And I build my connections that way. And we stay connected. And one day the awesome people hire me. Now, here's an example of how a lot of my sales have actually occurred. I meet someone at a networking event. They might have got referred. I might have got referred to them by a colleague. We connected on LinkedIn. They like my Facebook page. They book in a live webinar. They might love it and become a client. So where I'm going here with this example is that LinkedIn is part of your sales ecosystem. So the way I advise you to do it is please don't think LinkedIn is this thing that exists on its own. I see LinkedIn as an enhancement of real-world business marketing, okay? So yeah, absolutely, you can use LinkedIn to find people that you don't know, but you know what? I love using it to basically continue the online continuity of my networking experience. That is where I've made most of my money out of it, and that's the most fun. So something I highly recommend. It's absolutely incredible. Now I've got a few honorable mentions as I wind things up, friends, so please get your questions through. LinkedIn Premium, highly recommended. As well, when it comes to LinkedIn, look at your first layer first and then second layer. First layer are people that you're directly connected to, and second layer is they're connected to someone else. Because ultimately, regardless of how well you write your LinkedIn message, you know that. If you've been in business or you know a bit about selling, going in cold is always hard. Remember, it's meet, like, know, and trust. Okay, so if you can get an introduction, please do it. Okay, and don't think you got to stay on LinkedIn. If you let's say find a potential customer works at NAB or whatever the case may be, you might just ring up reception and just ask to speak to them or something like that. So there's heaps of details there. Now I've got a great message from the awesome Wayne Wanders. Thank you. Edward, I've previously accessed connections email addresses from LinkedIn, email them directly. Oh, Wayne's awesome. Yeah, Wayne Wanders, great feedback. When you're looking at some people's profiles, you might have the email there directly. Exactly. It works just great. So there's heaps of different ways you can go about it. I don't recommend this, and I'm not allowed to recommend this. You can also download of all your connections. You can also download all their email addresses, which is completely legit. And some people just import that into MailChimp and start emailing them. I don't recommend that, so please don't do that. But just saying you that it's there. Also as well, it's great on mobile. LinkedIn a few years ago used to be awful on mobile, but now it's actually pretty good. So I use it quite a bit on mobile. So it's got a really good experience from that point of view. So there you go, friends. This brings us to the end of the webinar. We're just going to be here for a minute. Got any questions, just please send them through. I'm just going to do a quick thanks and a quick shout out. I just want to thank a lot of the different video games, movies, and pop culture I've used for imagery, right from XCOM 2 to Spock to Cartman to Fallout to Gordon Ramsay, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump Jr., and Microsoft. Just want to thank all the people I've used content from. And just so you know, if you're not a client of mine already or a Vault member, I, of course, love to change that situation. I can help you with your marketing strategy plan, mentor, motivate, and inspire you, and also get your key strategies off the ground. For example, your website, email marketing, Facebook, LinkedIn, pitch, business networking. If there's anything I can't do, I refer it to people as well. I've got great people I can work with right from websites to, technical end. Pleasure, Karen. Great having you here. Love your work. And if you've got any questions, just send them through. Love your work, Karen. The Awesome Marketing Vault Mentoring Program is a great way of working with me. Also as well, just in case, I've got a lot of free resources available to you. You can visit my blog. You can join my email database. You can also access Module 1 of my Awesome Marketing Vault on the house. And also as well, if we're not friends already on Facebook or LinkedIn, please add me personally. You just go Edward Zier and add me personally. And my business page is Awesome Marketing with Edward Zier. So it's all just wonderful. The other point to make as well, if you need a little bit more, please check out my Awesome Marketing Vault. You also want to hire me face-to-face. Plenty of options based on what you're after. So wonderful, friends. Thank you so much. This brings us to the end of our webinar. I've gone a bit over time because it's just incredible, and you guys are just wonderful, and thank you for your questions. Thank you for your attention. Appreciate it. If you've got any questions, please check out my website, or you can email me at edward@excellenceabove.com.au. I'll be uploading it this evening to my blog, and it'll be going out in the system, the email system tomorrow. Well, love your work. Thank you for watching. Just really appreciate it. Sorry about the audio dropout. I'm glad that wasn't too long, but that was weird. I'm going to have to investigate that one. I suspect it might be a Citrix issue. Thank you again. Stay awesome. Happy LinkedIning, and I'm here to help you win. Have a great evening, and of course, stay awesome.